Hey y'all, my name is Annie. Welcome to my channel, Eat, Drink, and Be Reading. And today I am doing a tag video. It's the used book tag second tome around. I was tagged by Mary over at Happily Ever Esh, so thank you, Mary. This is so fun. She tagged me while I was up with my in-laws in New Hampshire, so it's had to wait a few weeks till I could come home and actually remember what books I had purchased from secondhand bookstores. And yeah, so now it's time to do it. Okay, so this tag really talks about how I purchase books, particularly looking at, do I buy secondhand, what's important to me there, and a few of the books that I have purchased secondhand. So let's jump in. Question 1 is, do you buy secondhand books? Not as often as I would like. You know, I have 3 little kids, and so I just don't have a lot of like perusing time. I don't have time often that I can go to a bookstore and just look around. I often go at Christmas to buy books for like friends and family, and maybe one other time a year. I just don't make it into a bookstore very often. I'm more likely to order and pick up from our independent bookstore. Oh no, my 2-year-old just came in here and there's like a djembe drum, and I do think she brought like chopsticks to try and play it. So sorry if you hear that in the background. And so, yeah, and I think used bookstores require perusing. And yeah, so I don't have like an opportunity for that. Sorry. Sarah. There was drumming happening. And honestly, up until the past year or so, we didn't have a used bookstore. The independent bookstore has a small section of used books, but now we have 2 more in my town. And I've spent about 5 minutes in one of them, and one of the books I'm going to talk about is from there. No, Sarah, you can't play the piano. No, baby, no piano. So our office is our office and our library, and it has all the instruments that we have, which isn't many, but all of them are in this room. Not the best place for my 2-year-old right now. Anyway, now we have several used bookstores. I'm really excited for someday to be able to go and really explore them and spend time and to have that be something I do on the regular, but it just hasn't been that way yet. And COVID make it be a little bit longer than I wanted it to. Sarah. Question number 2. What is/was your latest purchase? Okay. That one was easy. This is from one of the new used bookstores. I got this back in like December, so that's how long it's been since I've been in a used bookstore. This is Adventures on the Wine Route, a wine buyer's tour of France by Kermit Lynch. It is a very well-known wine memoir. Kermit Lynch is a very well-known wine purchaser and buyer from California in the 80s, like just pretty well-known in the wine world, and it's his memoir, which I did read this year and really, really enjoyed. Like, liked it a whole lot. Question 3. What condition do you find acceptable, like tatty or not? I used to not care. I would used to buy books in kind of any condition. But now, like, I'm hoping someday in our next home to have space for several bookshelves and to display my books. Right now, so many of them are in boxes. We just don't have the space. And so I want them to be in nicer conditions. I mean, this one is in beautiful condition. I don't necessarily need that, but I want it to not be like falling apart anymore. At that point, if I saw one I really wanted to read that was kind of falling apart, I would just try and borrow it from my library. Question 4. After you read said book, do you keep it for reread or redonate it? I usually keep it, but that's, I'm so sorry for the kids in the background. Blame COVID and the fact that I have to sneak into this office whenever I have a moment when my husband's not in here. Yes, so I usually keep them. I think I have a lot of books in boxes that have been in boxes for like 10 years just because I have not had space to like display them anywhere in that period of time. And yeah, someday I'm gonna go through those boxes and we're gonna donate them, but it probably won't be until we are planning on moving out of this house. So at that point I will donate a bunch of books. But yeah, I haven't quite felt ready to donate many of the ones I've gotten in the past few years. Question 5. Do you have a favorite place to go to when looking for secondhand books? Not currently, but like I said, there are 2 new used bookstores in the past like year and a half in my town, and I'm so excited to really like dig in there and see what they have and find one that I love. Especially, there goes my lighting, as she turns the light on and off. Yeah, and see what they have and find the one that I think like fits me and to go check it out often, especially when all my kids are in school. But who knows when that will be. Question number 6, hardback or paperback? Do you have a preference? Not really. I prefer to read paperbacks, but I prefer the look of hardbacks, and so, I mean, I buy whichever. My husband likes the look of hardback more, so he prefers when I buy hardback, like if they're gonna go somewhere, but I own a lot of paperback, and so I don't really have a preference from used books. Number 7, have you found any real gems? Yes, I have 2. One is like the book itself is not that big of a gem. This is Frederick Bachman's My Grandmother Asked Me to Tell You She's Sorry. I mean, it's in great condition for paperback. Like any of the like folding is from me throwing in a bag in the airport probably, or reading standing up in a plane trying to get my infant, now 2-year-old, to sleep. Because I read this on a trip. Anyway, the reason this is a gem is I had read Beartown before I bought this, and I absolutely loved it. Beartown was the only Frederick Bachman I had read. And I saw this in the tiny little used book section of my independent bookstore and picked it up because I loved Beartown and I wanted to try another Frederick Bachman. And I wasn't sure if it was just Beartown or if it was Frederick Bachman. And you guys, it's Frederick Bachman. I love him so much. And this book showed that to me. It taught me that I adore Frederick Bachman and I will read everything that he ever writes. The next one I actually think is really cool, and it's this one again. It's The Adventures on the Wine Route by Kermit Lynch. It's the 25th anniversary edition. It has like a foreword that he wrote 25 years later. Oh, I still have the bookmark from the used bookstore, Golden Fig Books. And y'all, he signed it. Like, this book is signed by Kermit Lynch, which is pretty cool. And so not only is it in like this great condition, hardback, a book I really enjoyed, it's signed. And he like spends half his year in California and half his year in France. And so it's not like I would ever meet him to sign something. So I love that. Question number 8. Find a book from your shelves to donate. I am cheating a little bit. I'm going to talk about 3. And 2 are cheats because we have 2 copies of these. I don't even know anything about this book. This is Letters from a Skeptic. A son wrestles with his father's questions about Christianity by Gregory and Edward Boyd. I don't know where this came from. It was given to my husband, but somehow he has 2 copies of this. And neither of us have ever read it. And I don't know that either of us ever will read it. So technically I could probably get rid of 2 copies, but we definitely don't need one of them. And the other one is When People Are Big and God Is Small by Edward T. Welch. We have 2 copies of this as well. I have read this one. I would definitely want to keep a copy, my copy really, which is not this one. I mean, the copy I read because I like noted in it. But yeah. What? You want some Cheez-Its in that? Okay, give me 1 minute. And last but not least, I maybe would consider Lilac Girls. I don't know. I'm not like quite ready to get rid of this one yet, but I really enjoyed it. I didn't love it, but I really enjoyed it. And so I don't think I'm ever gonna read it again. So in that way, I wonder if I just wanna go ahead and pass it along so somebody else can read it. Baby, you took off your clothes. You cannot be, no higher than that. All right, guys, that is this. I'm going to tag Heather over at Belle's Library and Leandra over at Leandra and Lit. See what used books they have, if any. Thank you again, Mary. This was fun. It was just fun to look through my books and see what I had purchased secondhand. I need to probably close this before I show a naked kid on my video. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Come hang out again, and we'll talk later. Bye, guys.